being a brand new 2023 Hyundai Palisade, it drives surprisingly good. This big guy moves around pretty good. Quite similar to like a more nimble, lightweight, small SUV. You wouldn't think that this was a three-row, especially something compared to like a three-row Jeep Grand Cherokee or like the three-row Dodge Durango. This thing drives really good. I drove this thing over 500 miles. Drove it up north from where I stay in Arizona. Drove up to Flagstaff, went to Sedona, some windy roads, came back, and man, this thing is really good. It's got good acceleration, good fuel economy, quite a lot of amenities, a lot of little accessible things that you would like and appreciate in a big three-row SUV that you kind of wouldn't expect in a three-row SUV. Like, look at this right here. The back right there, just a push of a button. Literally, for our trip, as soon as we opened it, it stayed open. Didn't close it one more time. Kept it open. Opened it back up pretty easily, but the glass doesn't open. That's all good because you don't need it open anyway. But another thing that shocks you is right above you, there's another sunroof. Now that one can open. And I love the way that this thing has so much versatility. This one's the top of the line Palisade, like the top of the line. Now look at this. When you look at the seats, look at those nice seats. Those seats are nice. The nice like diamond edged like hexagon little pattern on there with the stitching on there. Now mind you, it's got heated and cooled seating. It's got ambient lighting in there. Heated, cooled in the front seat. The back seat has just heated seats. And I don't think the back seats have heated seats, but this had that little stitch pattern like all the way through the whole thing, and it's got like a nice stereo system in here. I think this is what is this? Harman Kardon. So yeah, it sounds pretty good in here. It's got some pretty good bass, but like it was playing like kid music in here, and even the kid, like those new Snoop Dogg kid music songs like that come on. They come on Pandora. I know like nobody else has Pandora, who cares? But yeah, there's like some new kid music from Snoop Dogg, and even those kid songs have bass. Like, so this is like literally like the best family car I've driven to date. Now there's a few other vehicles that I want to drive. Now the Tesla Model Y is cool, family fun car. It's cool, quick. But it only got 3 rows. And you got to stop with the inconvenience of the charging, so I thought that was a cool family car, but it doesn't have 3 rows because I'm about to have a third kid, and I need that space in the back. I need that space for, kids. I got a 7-year-old, 3-year-old, so and about to have a newborn, and anyone who's a family guy or a family type person, if you got multiple kids, 2 rows isn't enough. You just need a little bit more than what that has to offer. So that's where this comes into play. This is a really good car. Like, check this out. One thing I really like about this is, so you got the push button, reverse neutral drive, and the parking engage. All your little heated, cooled seat features right there. Climate control is still actual buttons. You don't have to just hunt through the screen just to figure everything out. It's all right there. So that makes it nice and easy to use and understand. That's something I really like. Of course, the steering wheel has, everything that you would expect. It's got the automatic cruise control. It's got all your little stuff to adjust everything on the modes. I didn't really need to use any of this stuff on the steering wheel except for when I was driving, except for cruise control. One thing I really like about this car is this cruise control on this thing is dope. I'm gonna show you the cool function of the cruise control in a second, but another thing I like is there's a phone charger right here, so you can put your phone right there. You see my phone right there. And you know that it's on because it's got this little P thing right here, this backwards Q, whatever that is. The I lights up, and that's how you know your phone's plugged up or wirelessly plugged up. And I know some of these other wireless chargers, if you got one of those little handle things in the back of your phone, it doesn't charge up good. I got one on the back of my phone, so when I'm in like the Tesla Model 3, Model Y, S, it's got like a wireless charger as well as other vehicles, and when I put it on there, it's like it doesn't read it unless it's like closer, or if I take it off. But this one, it still picks it up. You don't have to check the charge on your screen. You can see that right there. It lights up right there. That's how you know. Something I really think is really cool about this is like all the little features on it. So like when you go to switch your modes, you got driver mode. I think this one has the coolest driver mode switching feature out of all of them. So you got sport mode, come over to comfort. Like, that's the most dramatic display I've seen on anyone. Like, compared to, like, I've driven, this is not a sports car, but like being compared to like the Mercedes G-Wagon, M3 competition, Audi RS7, you know, even Dodge Chargers, Challengers and stuff like that. Like, they don't do like this when you switch driver modes. Now that one's not as cool as when you go to comfort mode. Like, it looks like water splashing, and then like sport mode looked the coolest of all of them. And then you still got good acceleration, even for sport mode. Like, for a big vehicle like this, you wouldn't expect it to be having good acceleration like this, but it does. I didn't really need to keep it in sport mode. You know, I wanted to keep the gas mileage kind of good, you know, kind of keep it in comfort. But one thing I really like about this is when you go to cruise control, it's got this thing where it'll drive itself kind of in a way. Now, it's not exactly perfect. Like, say if you're driving on the freeway around the curves and the bends, it doesn't do it perfectly, but it does a pretty dang good job. So like, if I put it on cruise control, just cruising down the road right here, like say 45 miles an hour, has no problem doing straight, you see? So it's not too difficult. Makes it easy for you to, it's like almost like having like a second driver. I wouldn't trust the car, especially with yourself or people in the car, when it comes around going around those bends, you know, you got rails on the ends or something like that. See, watch, I'll let it do its thing right here. Oh, I gotta turn right here. Of course, you gotta take over when you want to do a turn or something like that. So it's not complete autopilot, but it does help you drive. It's like having like a second driver in the car or something with you. You don't want to completely like trust it to going through those really hard turns or anything, but it is good for like if you're on a freeway or just going kind of like generally straight. You know, if you go, let's say, maybe it allows you to have your hands free so you can maybe multitask a little bit or something. We've checked this out. So I did find myself using the GPS in this car sometimes. One thing I did find out, it's not as accurate as using like your Apple Maps or something. I have an iPhone, so I like to use Apple Maps. You know, it's got like construction warnings, accidents warnings, and all that good stuff. This doesn't have that. It just, you know, just lets you know the route and everything. It's convenient, but it's not the most accurate thing. So this is nice and usable screen, pretty responsive. See, like, look. See, like, it's so useful. Like, I'm able to do the review and let it drive itself, taking it to go get it washed. Alright, so given everything that this vehicle comes with, like the great fuel economy, the great drivability, as well as like all the usable space, you got like the top of the line stereo system in there. You got the nice sunroof, you know, 2 sunroofs, one that actually opens, one that's just big, so, you know, so everybody in the back can get a little open air view experience as well. I'd say this is probably like one of the best family vehicles you can get, and unexpectedly from Hyundai. You know, I remember back in the day I used to talk mess about Hyundai. Now Hyundai and Kia have been showing their butts. You know, they have been they've switched it up and definitely upgraded the way they used to be, and they've like kind of set the bar to like a new standard to what a vehicle should be like. You know, whether it's a family car, a performance car, a performance sedan, a little sports little coupe. You know, they got like a whole line of cars. You know, so I'm gonna try to get more vehicles from Hyundai and Kia in the future. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm also gonna give you a little bit better view of like the interior, because this interior is nice. Now the inside is really, really nice, I gotta say. From the door trim all the way to the seats, the sides where the speakers are at, everything is well stitched and laid out really nicely. It's definitely obviously appealing to the eye, you know, so even when you touch it, the touch quality is nice as well. It doesn't feel all cheap or anything. So the outside is just as elegant as the inside. So, but the inside is surprisingly more luxurious than you would expect for a non-luxury
vehicle. Now, mind you, this is a top of the line version, but it's still a very nice vehicle. They put a lot of technology in here as well as a lot of usable amenities in here. So it's not just super luxurious, it's actually very, very practical. From the chargers that's everywhere behind every single seat, there's a charger for every single person, lots of usable space. So even for someone like myself being 6 feet tall, these middle seats are adequate for myself. I can sit in there quite comfortable. I had plenty of usable leg room as well as there's a nice little armrest for this version with the 2 seats in the middle. Now, when it came time to climbing in the back seat, of course, this would probably be better for someone who's more like a kid or something like that. I tried putting the seat down, see if I could climb that way, but that wasn't practical. So I just climbed through the middle. If I'm the only one back there, it's doable. Now, it's not, like I said, it's not practical, but it's doable. Now, when it comes to the back, it does have the electric assist. So you just a push of a button and the back can open. And you can also open the back with the touch on the key fob. It has electronic foldable seats for the back seat, but not just for when you're trying to fold the seats down. If you're actually sitting in this back seat, there's like a nice little button for you to electronically recline your seat. So like you got the reclining ability that you would get not just in the front seat, but you get it in the middle seat as well as all the way in the back. Cup holders and chargers throughout the whole thing. So there's a lot of usable amenities throughout this vehicle. That's one of the things I really, really like about the brand new 2023 Hyundai Palisade.
So another thing I wanted to show off is I want to make clear that this thing has like a nice suede headliner. Like the whole headliner is suede inside of here. It's got really good acceleration. Good for families. Not big families now. If you got a family with like huge big teenagers, maybe if you only got like 2 of them, that'd be cool. But if you got like little kids, it's better for people who have little kids, okay? Just so I can be clear with the distinction between the two. Woo! Good acceleration. Okay, for a Palisade, you put it in sport mode, actually accelerates really good. Surprisingly good. So that's good. That's a good use of power. So people who are looking for a bang for your buck kind of SUV, because the Hyundai Palisades, they're priced pretty good compared to something like a new, like a 3-row Jeep Grand Cherokee or like a Dodge Durango or something, or there's plenty of other ones, plenty of other 3-rows that are like bigger and even more expensive, like the Jeep Grand Wagoneer, the brand new one. That's real expensive. But if you're looking for something with lots of technology that you get a bang for your buck, like there's 2-row vehicles that don't even come with as much stuff as this thing for the price, so if you want a good deal, I definitely urge you to consider Hyundai. I'm not a salesman for Hyundai or anything. I'm just letting you know from my personal experience, like going through windy roads and everything, this thing is good. This vehicle, I know it's not like crazy ridiculously powerful, and like the engine is like a lot lower than I was expecting. That's good, low center of gravity, low center of balance. That's the reason why it handles so well. The engine's kind of low versus like other SUVs, the engine's like up here, so that's good to know. But like, it's not even like the crazy amount of power it has. Like, it's the way that it puts the power down. That's what I like about this vehicle. Like the way it puts it down that's the thing that's worth noting. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.